I can promise you, almost 100%, this session is gonna be unlike anything you will encounter at this conference. I've been to this conference before. I love being in this space, but one of the challenges that I've always felt was that it is somewhat exclusive to folks in the academic community, and it is always often talking about young people and the experiences they have, and very often not actually bringing them into the space to be a part of that discussion. So my intention of really coming here and hustling a bunch of people across the country was, one, just to be disruptive, really. And when I say disruptive, I mean to disrupt business as usual in these spaces, and to say that, that when we're doing research, when we're navigating the work that we do around the field of education, I think it's very critically important that we are always centering and constantly reinforcing the narrative of young people. And so I'm really excited to bring our partner, kind of three different groups, is my group here at Appleseed, our partners from Epic Theater Ensemble, and then our other partners from this group called Integrate NYC for me. And so this is just a collaboration of three groups in New York City who really are committed to, one, to addressing the incredibly insane levels of school segregation in New York City, but also doing it through a way that is centered in the voices and the movements of students. And so we have a whole interesting kind of conglomeration of groups here together. Just a quick overview of what we're going to do. We're going to have our talented young people from Epic Theater Ensemble present a play that they have researched and have written and perform all on their own, called Laundry City. That's going to be followed by a short kind of Q&A with the students that the students facilitate. That is always, every time we've done this, it just seems like it has to happen, because this play elicits so much conversation, so much dialogue. And then so we're going to have a few folks from our partner group, Integrate NYC for me, and then a couple of academic researchers and faculty members join us, and I'll introduce them once we have a panel. And then if we have time, we're going to try to do some kind of interactive work, which again, as someone who's been here often, we don't necessarily get to do. I'm just gonna give a quick kind of overview of like the context, and I imagine if you've read the paper about education, you know that 60 years after Brown versus Board of Education, our schools have resegregated and are more segregated than they were in the 1960s. This is not just in New York City and New York State, which is number one on the list of the most segregated states. And New York City is the third most segregated city across the country. This is happening all over, and certainly in the kind of post-election era, where we really kind of reflect on why we were so kind of surprised that there was such a divisive kind of space in our country. I think really that the fact that our young people are navigating educational spaces that are divided by race, class, income, linguistic diversity, and really just navigating pathways that are so different from each other, that I think it's not really a surprise that we have a divisive country, and we're in such a divisive political time right now. And so the work that we do is really focused, one, just on ensuring that educational spaces are integrated and not just desegregated, and we'll talk more about that as well. But so that there's a kind of inherent educational value to it, but there's also just like a long-term democratic value that I think we all should be concerned about, and that we need to make sure that our young folks are not reinforcing the kind of divisive and somewhat separatist natures that we have as adults. And so I'm really excited to share some of this work that we're doing, and I'm hopeful we'll have like a really fun and interesting discussion. So last summer, the 5 students from the Laundry City company went around New York City interviewing folks like myself and a number of other much more smarter people than myself about school segregation. And I believe they said in like a week's worth of time, is this true? You guys, in a week, you guys wrote this play? Just seems like insane. But again, I think something that really resonates in this discussion is that young people, I think because they've not been controlled and constructed around capitalism, and have not been kind of forced to kind of play within the market, that they can be like radical, and they can be political, and they can be agile, and I think there's something really unique about that. I'm super excited to just introduce our friends from Epic Theater Ensemble. Please join me in welcoming them and enjoy Laundry City. So thanks.
There are 3 R's that we need to address. One, school should be addressed too. Because if the loss above your income, if you come from a family of below income,
School segregation, that's systematic placement. Race in class don't make me laugh. That shit go deeper than Cardi glass. Right past society's foundation. Back to America in the making. The original sin. Race, the original sin. Race, the original sin. Race. And just to show some figment, it controls this place. Cause the fear of my payment, you scared to look in my face. Looking down at me like I'm a disgrace. Once admitted, but this country's ruled by fear. Move your hands, stop covering your ears. Open your eyes. See that shit is so embedded that if you don't rise, 6 feet under is where you headed, buried alive. By lies, false causes, false endorsements, and false enrollments, crazy ride. Yeah, you're on a roller coaster, and yup, you're on it. And tell your mama not to take her for bonding, to sit down, relax, enjoy the show, cause yeah, we on it. Laundry City.
Good morning, students and faculty.
Good morning, worthless subjects.
Settle down.
Butt seat now.
We have much to talk about.
I'm talking, so shut up.
Please take your seats.
Did not just say butt seat now.
Listen up.
Clean your ears out.
Soon, we will be admitting new students to our school.
The white students are coming.
Don't worry, this is a good thing.
Calm your asses down. This shit good.
Nothing will change.
Everything's changing.
This is happening because of rezoning going on in Brooklyn.
This is happening because white people are colonizing Brooklyn.
This is a great opportunity to make our school great again.
This is a great opportunity to snatch that white money.
We will be getting new supplies.
We getting shit.
New textbooks.
New shit.
New lockers.
New place to put your shit.
And a brand new gym that all you students will be able to have and use.
Shit. We getting lots of brand new shit.
We will show them our school spirit.
We will show them how white we can be.
That's it.
I'm done talking.
All of you, hurry along to your classes.
You, class, now, out of my sight.
This is Laundry City, why separate our clothes though? This is Laundry City, why separate our clothes though? This is Laundry City, why separate our clothes though? This is Laundry City, why separate our clothes though? This is Laundry City, why separate our clothes though? This is Laundry City, why separate our clothes though? This is Laundry City, let the color spill, bleed over.
Man, I really hate Townsend High School. That school feels like a giant trash can. And where are the flies? Doomed to buzz around in its dirty holes.
man, we the flyest flies that ever flew though, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't know what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, our school may not look great. We don't got an auditorium, or a gym, or a counselor.
We gotta use a rubber glove full of ice as an ice pack.
Yeah, but hey, the kids are fun and cool. Pretty smart too.
Guys, I got some news today.
Did Jacob and Jackson break up?
Did the Black Lives Matter move over to the government?
No, and sadly, no. Something way weirder, though.
I swear, if this is some bull.
Language. They're rezoning our school.
And?
For new neighbors.
And?
White neighbors.
White?
Are you sure these are not light-skinned Puerto Ricans?
Nope. Straight mayo.
What are you doing in Townsend?
Those damn hipsters, man, always justifying
Language.
I was gonna say Shotaki, okay? Damn.
Anyways, what are you doing? What are you going to Townsend for? Why are you going to a rundown school like ours? Don't they know there aren't any white people around here for miles?
That's another thing. I heard that they're doing it on purpose.
Told you, man, hipsters.
Man, what's your problem with hipsters?
What's my problem? They always trying to mix stuff up. Do stuff different just for the sake of being different. Especially white hipsters. Always treating us like a charity case, like we're those starving African kids in those commercials that need get 10 cents a month for some stupid clean water. We're right outside the next borough. A train stop away. A few blocks down. Right outside your door. We exist, and we do not need your stupid monthly dime.
But seriously, think about it. If we get a white kid in our school, do you see how many opportunities could arise from this?
Better funding,
Better teachers,
school dances,
a library,
computers.
new textbooks.
More white people? Yeah, more and more white people will come. It'll be a snowstorm in Africa. Does that sound right to you? Why do we need white people in order to give our blacks the attention it deserves? Are we not good enough like the white people? Not worth it?
We're never going to be worth it in the eyes of our government or Board of Education. Never. So might as well use what we got.
You're racist, Abdul.
That's the one who literally wants to segregate our school.
We don't need no white savior.
But what if we do?
The black race can rise independently.
We're not for bringing back Jim Crow.
Yes!
What?
We've got homework to do. It's already sundown.
Oh, my mom's gonna whip my behind if I don't get home in time for dinner. So...
And I can't miss Game of Thrones.
Let's just go home, guys, okay? Best friends, remember?
And now a separate but equal bedroom.
Rich. Yo, bro. What are you doing? Rich, what are you doing? Yo, my man! Okay. You see this line? This is my side, that's your side. What the hell are you doing? Rezoning.
What?
This side is safe, that side is dangerous. Are you serious, you selfish
See,
prick?
it's not too dangerous. I don't feel safe.
We roughhouse all the time and now it's a problem? Your side too dirty. Look at that nasty stain in the corner. That was from your dinner 2 weeks ago. You never bothered to clean it up. I don't call that. Anyway, this side has better resources.
What do you mean?
This side has a window. That side has an old radiator. It's probably radioactive. This side has a desk, a laptop. That's my laptop. I gave you my username. I gave you my password. I don't call that. I've got the receipt. What? Anyway, this side gets better test scores. What do you mean? You know what I mean. If I knew what you meant, I wouldn't be asking, dumbass. See that profanity? That's so that side. What did you mean about the test scores? When I stay on that side, it's too irritado. When I stay on this side, it's fantastical, and I do much better. Man, if you don't get your dumb ass out of here. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's disrespectful. Stay right there. I'll be right back.
And that's why white people bleed Starbucks.
And they sweat mayo and wear Uggs all year round.
Guys, that's incredibly racist.
Relax, they're just jokes.
Yeah, racist jokes.
Man, black people can't be racist like white people can.
And why is that?
We don't got the energy.
We the power.
Same difference. We don't got the same power as white people. We have less. So, black people can't be racists.
That don't matter though. Lost, you're being a hateful jerk towards people you don't even know.
I don't gotta know them. I don't wanna know them. After hearing in history class what their people did to mine, I don't want anything to do with those slave masters.
Lars, that's a little far.
But it ain't. You wanna know why?
Here we go again.
9/11, never forget. The Holocaust, never forget. The Titanic, never forget. Slavery though, forget about it. It's in the past. Is it really? Black people are a slave to a white society. It ain't ever gotten rid of. We a slave to our phones. Seatbelts are holding us back too.
Man, this is ridiculous. I can't be friends with some wannabe Black Panther.
Wannabe Black Panther? Says the guy who has lions on their pumas.
What am I shoes got to do with any of this?
Fake shoes, Fake friend, you know what they say, you are what you wear.
I got no time for this. Stop talking to me at school until you stop being a prejudiced bigot.
Yeah, who you calling a previous maggot?
Guys? Guys? Hello?
Oh yeah! What's the matter?
Jeez, don't you know how to knock?
I pay the rent. I could walk into any room I want in this house. But seriously, Mamita, what's got your eyes sweating?
It's Abdul and Lars.
Finally in a weird love triangle with those boys?
Ew, Mom, I don't like Abdul.
Did I say anything about Abdul? So, what's wrong?
They're rezoning our school, and some of the white neighborhoods near here are going to be included in our school zone.
And kids aren't happy with this?
Well, Abdul thinks it would be good to have white kids in our school to make us integrated. Lars, on the other hand, thinks we shouldn't need any white kids in our school if that's the only way our black school can get better funding.
And you?
Well, I don't know. I don't care. I just want my friends to be okay.
I think that's good. Stay true to who you are, do your work in school, stay happy, and soon all of this will be out of your cabeza.
Okay, thanks, Mom. I'm going to the park, okay?
Don't be out too late! Oh my goodness. What does this mean? What does this mean? White people moving here. Of all places, we're quiet. We don't even get news coverage when a little boy is shot out there. What will they bring? Higher rent, more and more white people. I'm gonna get kicked out. I can't. This is the only place I know. I've been here my whole life. Mommy and Bobby are gone. God bless their soul, so I can't even ask them for advice. What am I gonna do? How will this affect Jalen and her school? You know, maybe the government will finally help them. Is that who takes care of the schools? But it's morally wrong to use children as a means to better a whole school. They're not tools, they're people. But Jalen, she needs that attention. Her school needs that attention. This is good. More white people means more money. And even if I do get kicked out after Jalen is in college, at least she'll get to go. Come, Blanquitos. Please bring some help.
And now, a separate but equal homeschool.
Rich?
Poor El.
What are you doing? I'm being homeschooled. What does it look like?
Your school is over there.
What do you mean, my school? This is homeschool. How can you have two schools in one home?
Rezoning. Duh.
Hi, boys. This year I'll be teaching you, Rich. And Uncle Buck will be teaching you, Pearl.
You better not be late to my class.
Where's your class?
In the garage.
Why does a rich have to go to school in the garage?
Don't worry about it. Go to scanning.
I live here. Why am I going to scanning?
Don't worry about it. Go to scanning.
All right, Rich, take your seat.
Okay, Mom. Sit over there.
I ain't sitting on no floor.
Oh, looks like we got ourselves a diva. Sit down!
Here's your textbook, dear.
Gee, thanks. Yeah.
What is this?
Don't worry about it. Papa doesn't like you. Go back to scanning.
All right, Richie, today we'll be learning trigonometry.
Algebra.
Uncle Buck, I've learned that for the past 3 years.
Why'd you wait 3 years to start complaining now? Besides, Pablo ate the other books 3 years ago.
Why didn't you order new books?
Don't worry about it. Now. What's algebra?
Lunchtime, honey. Gourmet free-range organic chicken.
those chickens can run everywhere.
Lunch! Frozen chicken nuggets, heat them up, you got 45 minutes.
Fresh from the factory. FDA approved.
Time's up, physical education.
Oh, what are we doing for gym class today?
Meditation in the closet. With Pablo.
With Pablo, the closet's Pablo's home. He sleeps there.
Deal with it, I'll be back in 45 minutes, maybe an hour depending on how the game goes.
What game?
Don't worry about it.
For gym today, you'll be playing ball with Uncle Buck.
Watch out, Rich. You know Uncle Buck got the handles. He got a little Jimmy with the shot. Yes, our schools need integration. Nothing benefits from school segregation. Diversity is growth, and you have to be aware that separate but equal is never gonna be fair. If schools are integrated, then we socially advance, but we're still separate. Therefore, limiting the chance for greatness to truly emerge from the nation. So how do we prevent that desegregation?
Let's get ice cream and watch movies at my house, Jalen.
Or you can hang with the fun homie and come to the arcade with me.
She's way too tired and just wants to relax. Right, Jalen?
Man,
Oh, don't be knocking about my chest because you can't get no girl.
man, this ain't about no stupid girl.
Oh, really? So you don't care if I tell Jalen you called her stupid?
Don't, Mr. Wells.
Boy, what happened to y'all? Y'all saying I didn't draw pickles. Did the other boy pickle get in the way?
Man, that's nasty. I told you this ain't about her. Abdul hates his own kind, rooting for the white people to come in.
Is this really about the rezoning of Thompson? You kids are something else.
Hey, who you calling a kid?
The one that's slamming out chairs, ruining friendships, just because you don't like white people. It's a big deal anyway.
Man, our proud black school don't need white people to give us some well-deserved recognition. And it's racist to think that we do.
You need power to be racist, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you think Abdul is racist, correct?
Yes, sir.
But Abdul don't got power, just like you, correct? Boy, you better get your thoughts in order. It's good for black people to grow independently, but a flower needs sunlight and water to grow. Now accept the help that you need before you're really in trouble. Now call your friends, make amends, and get out of here. Mm-mm. Ah. Ah.
Hello? Mr. Wells.
What's up, asshole?
Hi, Miss Madison. Okay, I have Miss Madave, Jayla's mother, and Miss Malave, the mother of the two children, now being homeschooled. They both wanted to talk to you about life at Thompson High. Do you have a meeting with them?
Oh, yes?
Yup.
I do.
Yup.
Both at the same time.
Yup.
Only at the mother's window.
I think I hate kids.
Isn't that confusing?
Not at all.
Nah.
Okay, I'll invite them in.
Lovely.
Do that shit.
Hello, Miss Malave and Miss Badale.
Oh, what's up, Miss Yum Yum and Miss Delicious?
It's nice to have you here today.
Looking pretty fine today.
Buenos dias, Senor Madison.
Hello, Mr. Madison.
Buenos dias, Miss Malave, and hello, Miss Badale.
My anaconda do, my anaconda do, my anaconda do what's up? Cause your name is Yum Yum.
I'm thinking about enrolling my children here, and I need to know more information about the school. Do you think you could help me?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Our school's looking towards a better future,
Our pockets are looking very deep,
especially with the new and diverse enrollment.
especially with the white money coming in.
Yes, I heard. That's why I'm here. I just want to make sure, absolutely sure, that these kids are coming here.
They will.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
They
it.
coming.
That doesn't sound good for my kids. How it works in my homeschool is separate but equal. My kids are on different tracks. They each get separate attention and are equally empowered. And things work out. Why won't that work here?
But that's not beneficial in preparing this generation, is it, sweetheart?
I disagree, Mr. Madison. What do you think is right?
I think we should just focus on the resources.
I think we should just focus on the white money.
Why can't we get resources here at this majority Black and Latino school?
Because of the system we're in.
Because we're black and Latino.
You can't help this school if you're asking kids to separate themselves by color. That's not preparing them for the real world where they're going to see different people of all shapes and sizes. This ain't your laundry, sweetie. You don't separate the whites from the colors. You have to embrace the real idea of integration. That will be the only way to end segregation in our schools and soon our society.
I disagree, Mr. Madison. What do you think is right?
I don't know what's right anymore.
I thought the white money was right.
But maybe I don't have to.
But maybe the people can help me solve it.
Hello? Is this thing on? I'm not sure these things work.
I'm technologically ignorant. Keep laughing. Maybe they won't notice.
Alright! Hello again, students, parents, faculty.
Hello again, worthless subjects.
As you know, there's been news about the rezoning of our school district to incorporate more families.
Particularly the white families.
But I can assure you, there will be a great addition to our school community.
As long as they bring us money.
However, there has been much controversy passed with many compelling arguments. So, instead of violence in the halls and in the streets, I have decided to hold a community-wide discussion where all can talk about the issue.
Let's have a gladiator fight with microphones and podiums.
No, nothing will come from integration. All we need is equal education. If we let the white kids in a school that is not mixing up, then it's gentrification. We need to bring up the law and demand academics we desperately need. We can't let them hold us down. We gotta rise up, demand, evolve, and succeed.
Hey, Larsie, I'm so glad you can make it.
Yeah, what do you want to say that night?
Are you still mad at me about going with Abdul?
I don't know. How would you feel if your best friend chose a jerk over you?
That jerk was your best friend too.
Yeah, was.
Listen, you boys gotta set this aside. I care for you both equally. I can't lose either of you guys. So I'm trying to manage you separately but equally.
So what? You want to hang with him all day and call me at night when you feel guilty? Nah, I don't want like that.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to do.
I love you.
What?
I love you, Jalen. I really do.
Since when? Since the fight?
No, well,
You're just saying that so you can beat Abdul at something.
no, I'm not.
I'm not just something you can win. I'm not a trophy.
I never said you were.
That's probably the only reason why Abdul kissed me today too.
Wait, he said what?
Yeah, he kissed me. But guess what? It doesn't matter because I don't belong to anybody. I tried to integrate us in a friendship. I tried. And yet all y'all want to do is argue about some white kids who may or may not go to our school. If you really loved me, you would try to integrate the three of us. But that obviously doesn't work for you two. So I'm going to separate y'all and be equal like before. This time though, I'm separating myself from the both of you and you guys will be equally ignored by me. That's the only thing that seems to work.
Wait, Jalen.
No! Until you learn that people aren't tools, nor are they their stereotypes. I want nothing to do with you people. Bye.
Wait, Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to discuss a serious topic happening every day. A problem first addressed way back in the 50s in a case known as Brown versus Board of E. But the issue still stands. We have to learn together. We have to join hands with all the benefits that come with integration. Why are we still dealing with school segregation?
I don't know what to say. I've never done this before.
Welcome to the first community-wide discussion hosted by Thompson High. It's so wonderful to have all these lovely new faces here.
There's a lot of black people here.
The issue on the table, the rezoning of our school district.
The issue on the table. The white people are coming! The white people are coming!
First question.
What is the purpose of school?
What do you think is the purpose of school?
For me, I think school is more than just about education. I think it's the first step in teaching people how to connect with each other beyond culture, beyond class, beyond race.
School should be used as a tool to rise above your income if you come from a family of low income. School should be a driver of success.
If you look at the schooling that we used to, even the fact that we're sat the way we're sat, it's a production line. You operate at the sound of a bell. The bell tells you when to get up, when to go. That's the purpose. It's preparing you to be a worker on a production line.
Why do you think segregation is still a problem in New York City?
Residential segregation is the reason why there is segregation. Another is parents who have some power try to manipulate the system for the advantage of their child.
Race is, and what I would call and others described, the original sin of America. It is this real issue that no one really talks about that has such a major impact on the whole society of the US and still continues to this day.
What is your definition of integration?
What is your definition of integration?
I'm not really sure what we mean by integration. What I see when we talk about integration, it is about Black and Latino kids going to white schools to become better. That's not integration. That's, in my view, assimilation.
Well, how is desegregation different than integration?
I think of desegregation and integration as two different things, but are interdependent on each other. I think desegregation is when you break down physical barriers that keep people apart, whether it's the way you assign students to schools, neighborhood boundaries, or school district boundaries. When you break those down and create schools that are more diverse racially. I consider integration when you do the hard work of valuing what each student brings to that setting. So whether it's the curriculum, whether it's the way teachers react to students, the way teachers treat students, apply discipline policies, deciding whose culture is valued and whose knowledge is valued in those spaces. And is there still white privilege controlling who has a voice, who has a say in whose history we study? So if we work on that and we consider our racial history of normalizing the white way of answering all of these questions, then we begin opening to knowing, being, and seeing, and making it a place where students can appreciate and learn from each other. Integration is when we learn to understand and appreciate one another, and nobody's story or history is more important than another's.
What do you think is the solution to New York City school segregation problem?
I think,
We need more Black men as teachers, more Black men as school administrators, but no one is talking about why aren't they there?
There are 3 R's that we need to address. 1, racial enrollment. How do you choose my school and how do I make sure I select fairly? 2, resources. How do you make sure every single school has the same resources? 3, the last piece is relationships. Once we're all in the building, if I haven't met each other and there's racism in the building, then you're not going to talk to each other or learn how to work together. How do we fund teachers to help build clubs that establish relationships across racial lines?
I think where we get confused is conflating the quest for adequate educational opportunities with the quest for integration. The theory of action was if you import basically white middle-class students, they would then advocate for all of the students in the school. They had more social and political capital, and they would essentially serve as the saviors for the Black and Latino students in the school. I think that's racist. I think that's classist. I don't believe in the savior complex, that we need to have folks swoop in and save the poor Black and Latino children in the school. I believe that Black and Latino folks have agency and have power that has been untapped.
For me, it's not that certain communities are less powerful, it's that certain communities haven't been given the floor. How do we give people the floor? Segregation was intentional. Integration has to be intentional. Segregation was forced. Integration has to be forced.
what do you think is the solution?
Do you think it's racism or segregation that causes a misunderstanding between students and teachers?
People are racist and they can't just let kids go where they want to go.
I think you gotta be careful, right? Talk about racism, but can we risk lumping everyone into a group?
It's just where people live. There's more Black people in Townsend than down in Soho. It's just where people live. We congregate towards those we look like. It can't be helped.
I don't No.
There's a very well-known book called Why the Black Kids Sing Together in the Cafeteria, and it's research that shows no matter how integrated a school is, kids will form social groups around racial lines.
I think the way we think students separate themselves is something that is imposed on them. The way teachers look at them, the way teachers treat them, it's no wonder they segregate themselves.
Do you think some sort of revolution needs to occur in order for our voices to be heard?
I think it needs to be a national movement.
A revolution is imminent. That's just going to happen. Trump, it's going to happen. Trump has risen the sleeping dog. The South has awakened.
I acknowledge that in history, violent uprisings have sometimes made a difference, sometimes on the side of justice and equality. I don't believe we need that in order to achieve a high-quality education for people of color. I shy away from calling it a revolution or even using the term radical because it alienates a lot of people who agree in principle. But people get scared when you use words like revolution and radical.
The Constitution is absolutely the problem. It was written under a lie. All men are created equal. We still haven't passed the equal rights line in the United States. It needs to be updated.
Who says the goal is integration? I think for me the goal is about having high-quality schools.
Were you born yesterday? Integrate, for God's sakes. The point of school is to give students the tool of knowledge so that way they can use that when they are adults to make money. So my daughter puede la pega la renta.
If integration made money somehow, America would do it. Integration is not the goal. Black people don't even have equal rights. Whites have guns, but black people aren't even allowed to get licensed. There is no equal ground.
Wait, school segregation is still a problem in New York City in 2017.
We need integration. It doesn't have to come from a revolution. It just has to come. We need our schools to be diverse. As young people, we're going to grow up in a society that's diverse, and we need to learn how to understand each other, not judge each other.
I just want to be okay. I just want to be okay. I just want to finish these last 2 years and graduate.
I feel so useless.
I think the worst part of segregation is people end up feeling like there's something wrong with them. The worst part of segregation is young people feeling like they're stupid, they're bad, they're troublemakers, they're not worth it. That's the worst part.
Is separate but equal fair?
Is
separate but equal fair?
So what we do at Epic is ask every audience so say you're after the show and it's 2 weeks from now and you're laying in bed thinking about the show. What's one thing you'll remember the most that struck out to you?
Just the pain of the system on you as individuals in the school. So you can see all the nuances and stuff, and just the idea that our system is raised this way for 300 years, and you're still like struggling and fighting to try to understand and explain it.
Anybody else?
Does anyone have any questions for us about?
I was gonna say, one, that you opened with most deaf, like you couldn't have started better than Miss Fat Booty. But two, I think all of the definitions that you gave in the last couple of minutes about what integration is and what and the purpose of why we have to do it on purpose, I think that was so completely on point. I was just sitting here going, why did I have my phone on to record that? That was beautifully, beautifully said.
Thank you.
It was also just striking that you guys called out the way we double speak in society. Like we say one thing when we mean something completely different, but we're uneven straightforward with each other. I really appreciated that.
How many different voices you play, how many different perspectives and characters and ways of looking at the situation, if it's masterful.
And I also really appreciated how you brought in the white savior complex and like where diversity and language around that can be co-opted or hidden to really mean that we really don't think that XYZ community can do it on their own, and so that's why we need white money or things like that. So just the reinforced narrative of that commodification.
I loved how realistic it was, and like I even like laughed at some of the things because some of the things that you guys were saying was some of the things that I was saying with my friends in high school. So it was really like great for you guys to kind of like act that out. It was kind of like the life that I lived, so it was pretty dope.
Can you guys just talk a little bit about like the process of making the play and just explain a little bit of that to the crowd? Want to go straight on it?
So we pretty much started our second year at the Epic Next Summer Intensive program, where it's pretty much just theater intensive. We learned last summer about different aspects of theater, directing, playwriting, and even acting, more on that. And when we got our topic of educational segregation from Jim, we interviewed about 20, 30 people on what they think on the subject, and we used that as like the basis of how we want to write this play and how to bring out some of the most uncomfortable and most humorous moments as well. And then we had to drill all the lines. For hours.
It was a very fun process because we didn't really come in with like a full storyline at all. We just sort of came in with like little bits and pieces of scenes that we had brainstormed or improv'd on, and so we just sort of took those different storylines, those different perspectives, and even a lot of the last scene was a lot of the quotes from the interviews, and those were real people within that situation. And so we just sort of mashed it up all together in a sort of organized form of a play.
What did you sort of learn or gain from embodying the narratives of other people?
That there are many different ways to look at this very toxic topic. There's no straightforward, because even like throughout the whole process, we tried to like generalize what this play was about, and for the most part, it is about school segregation, but there are many, like in the town hall scene you're seeing, there are many different solutions that people will take, but other people won't, in order to like get that diverse schooling that kids maybe need or want or don't need, essentially. But in our case, we thought when we was going into like the whole writing process of it, I guess we can just say that we thought we was going to come up with answer. We were terribly wrong.
That's an understatement. I'm still confused on what the answer is. I still don't know.
Okay, that's kind of what we ended on.
I think that's something, that's like the thing that I would remember is like I could tell, like especially after you said that you interviewed all these people, I was like, that makes sense, because you have like so many different perspectives represented, and like I think it's cool that you didn't try to land on an answer, because there's not a clear answer and it's a complex issue, so you did a great job.
Do you feel hopeful, pessimistic? I mean, going through the process changed how you personally view the issue?
So when we first started doing this, I felt like the answer to the problem was the revolution, because I felt like the problem is this from at the root of something, at the root of America. So like, how can you change something that's already grown into the structure? You have to uproot it. That's what I originally thought. But my other cast members disagreed with me. Oh, she was with me. She was with me. I won't call it, but okay, she was with me. And like, go to war. It wasn't necessarily war. I just wanted change, to be honest. You know, it's like
You get frustrated.
Yeah, you get frustrated, and you know what?
When you keep fighting for something and people are like, here you have it, and it stays put but in different words, and it's annoying.
It's just like kind of weird, because us as human beings want change, but we won't actually take the initiative to enforce that change. Like Brown versus Board of E. We decided that it is illegal to segregate schools, but it turns out without that law, we're still segregated either way.
Yeah. You mentioned frustration. I'm curious to know, throughout the process of interviewing these people, were your frustrations heightened? Or were they eased at times? Because
Plus
you
yours
were
No, my frustrations I was so angry because the answers they were giving me weren't necessarily
Satisfying.
Yeah, it wasn't satisfying, or either that it wasn't a straight answer, or it just wasn't. It had contradictories, and like other people had different answers, and it's too many ways of looking at it before you could just pick one answer. You kind of have to like think about it in all perspectives. Like maybe we can mash up those things as a group, mash those things up into like one answer, and maybe that is the solution. I personally don't know, but it really made me angry because I just wanted a legit yes or no answer. See, like this line, I just wanted yes or no. That's all I wanted. I wanted a solid answer, but it's not as straight as this line is. Like you gotta have that little ripple.
Stubble.
You see, like that stubble. That's how it is. That stubble. But a bunch of more stubbles inside the stubble. Like this. Yeah.
I remember that I sort of went in with one thought, which was, of course we need school integration. Of course we need that. But then as you go along and you interview these different people who are so convincing, and they just have you think their way, and you're like, oh, so that's it, or is that it, or is this one or that? And it's like, all of them have good points to it, because there's certain aspects to each that have a pro and a con, where integration means you get to have that exposure, but is it just using people? Or segregation, where you can just give them the money that they do deserve, and they can just be in all black school, but is that not exposing them to multiple different experiences? And so you're kind of stuck in a sort of limbo between, I don't know.
I guess the frustration lies between the question of is separate but equal fair, because
more like if you really take a risk, are you willing to take this risk and see where the decision goes? And how it plays out in the future, because we don't know what's gonna happen if you go this route or this route. You just gotta take that chance. And I feel like a lot of people are scared, and this is what that country's based off of fear. Like nobody wants to allow this. They don't want to take the chance that we need to change everything. We need more people. It's like it's okay if you have like one or two people, but we need a whole bunch of people. Need like majority of the country on board. Like everybody has to be, or the world even. Like everybody has to be on board. It can't just be a small group of people. It has to be like everybody on it.
And that's also like the thing, because like, yeah, really going back to that question, is separate but equal fair. Different people have a different definition of fair, because fair can mean I have $1 and I have like a rusty old dollar, and you have like that clean dollar that came out of that ATM. So, and it's whether that it's the same price, it's just how it looks to society. So, and personally, I thought it would, at first when I heard the question, I was like, of course, integration, duh. And I was like, time out. I went back to my experience of being like kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, and in my case, I didn't have that integration, but was it still fair that I didn't have it or that I did? But either way, I'm still here right now. So it's really like where your values lie in fairness, because you could be fair on this or you could be fair on this. And society sees it both ways. So we can't even, that's really the main frustration of what does fair mean? Not just separate but equal.
Something that I took away when we doing this whole process was that I realized that I've been dealing with this problem my whole life, but I never noticed it.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten so used to it that when I was told that schools were segregated, I was like, what? You crazy? And then I looked around and I was like, oh, this is actually true. Like there are no white kids in my school. There are barely any white kids in your school, right?
Our school's complicated. It's literally cut in half.
plaza of this place.
Your school really is
like it's
segregated.
literally
Your building is segregated.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
cut in half. Majority of the upper school is white uptown. Well, from New York, uptown is like uptown Manhattan, and our school is like from everywhere in New York City, from Staten Island, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, to Far Rockaway, and Bronx.
And they're majority brown
Latino.
kids. So essentially, and we're not even allowed to interact with the white kids upstairs.
Except for the teams.
Yeah.
And like the only thing we like actually share is sports teams, and even in like that, cause like I play for varsity basketball, and there's 4 people from my school that's on the team versus the other 11 that's on from other school, which is really, I guess, crazy in a sense, cause they were both like at tryouts. You could see like there were a same number of people from each school, but more people from the other school than other.
So, thank you for watching us and for experiencing this with us. And you guys have been a great audience.
Yes.
Thank you.
What are the age ranges and grade levels, if that can be revealed?
I'm 17. I'm a senior, about to go to college.
I'm 18. I'm a senior. I'm about to go to college.
I'm 16 and a junior.
I'm 17, I'm a junior.
I'm 17, I'm a junior.
Okay. And what have you guys done to educate your peers to the extent of the information that you just shared with us? Because the dichotomy is, how early do we start educating our kids on the history of this country and the things that these issues are established on? I think some of the greatest, one of my mentors told me some of the greatest inventions never made it to this world because people took them to the grave with them. So my question to you is, some of you guys are leaving, and this is something that needs to be on a grander scale. This was good for us, but I think this needs to go, bigger than just us. It needs to be, displayed to your peers, because you guys are obviously, you guys are the generation next. You guys are coming behind us. So we've been beating this thing to the ground for a minute now. But I think, coming from you guys, the younger generation coming behind us, the more you guys know and the more you share with your peers, I think it has a much more resounding sound than it does from adults like us. So I guess my question, like I said, before I started, what are you guys doing? Or, I urge you, or, I encourage you to educate your peers, get them involved, educate them to the extent that you guys just shared with us, because some kids just know things at the surface level. I look at when I'm traveling through different areas of my town, and I live in Houston, Texas. It's a Starbucks here, but when you go through Fifth Ward, there's no Starbucks there. And then just after you come out of Fifth Ward, there's a Starbucks, just off I-10. So it's a reason when you talk about, it's bigger than education. It's holistic. It's nationwide, and it's evident in our school systems because we see it. But if you look in your communities, it's the same thing. It's a reason why Walmart looks different in Fifth Ward. Well, it's not a Walmart in Fifth Ward, but it's a reason why there's certain things on the shelves in our Latino and Hispanic communities at that Walmart than you wouldn't see in the Black community. So it stems further than just education, but I urge you and I encourage you guys to share with your classmates, to get them involved, because I think it has a much more resounding sound if it comes from you guys, because we've been, like I say, we've been beating this thing to the ground for a minute, so.
You guys feel free to give some feedback, but I think that comment and that question leads very nicely into our panel, because part of what we do with Epic is we run around the city and obviously around the country now to present this to wide audiences, but we also, the work that we do that I want our partners to talk about is really a lot about mobilizing these narratives into action. So feel free to respond, but I also have really good answers for that.
I try to tell my classmates, but what I found when it comes to my school, the only students that really listen and really take it with them and absorb the information are the students that are also in Epic with me. That's pretty much what I found.
Listen to what? Not everyone's interested. Some kids just don't care.
They're
good with what they are.
I got into an argument with this girl in my class, and basically Cabernet, and we were arguing about how, the projects essentially, and why there are so many black people in the projects and stuff, and I was trying to say it was sort of a deep-rooted problem that is sort of escalated, and it's hard to get out, because I've seen people try to, and it gets hard, and you get used to a certain lifestyle. And then she just kept arguing that black people are just lazy. And it's just, and she's like, oh, I can see them walking around with Jordans and a brand new car, but can't buy food for their children. And it's like, at some points you see examples of that, but I'm trying to not demonize these people at all. Like, even if they do have the latest sneakers on their feet, they're still people, and you shouldn't just say, well, they don't deserve help.
Yeah.
They just need to get kicked out. Like, they need to be given a chance too, and that's what the integration is supposed to do. It's supposed to give you a chance and have you see there's more to just the projects. There's more to just this whole gang life that a lot of hip-hop artists are talking about, and there's more to the world than just money and how you look. And it's hard to get it through kids' heads, because it feels like they're brainwashed with the same stuff over and over and over. No matter where you look, it's the same thing, black or white. They all want money, and they all want to look better, and they all want power. So.
It's kind of, like underlining what she just pointed out. I guess you have to encourage the fact that you can't always jump to conclusions, because that right there starts so many problems that you can't, like, the conclusion will start here, go here, but the actual truth will be going this way.
Yeah.
And our age group tends to not look at things from a different side. And that's one of, like, the main things I picked up while I was in Epic, that there's more than just one story to our topic. And even in US history, because me and Olivia are in AP US history, and we always hear about Christopher Columbus coming to America, we found a new world, and yet we never learned that the Native Americans were here first. And that we always called them Indians, but Christopher Columbus thought they were Indians because he was trying to go to India.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff that they teach in elementary school, but you don't really look at it from who was here first versus who came here first.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, it really starts so many problems when you're not looking at it from, when you're just being ignorant or reluctant, just to not only see it's this way, it happened like this, it happened like this, or like that. And like, that's also what the problems we had, because we looked at it from so many different ways that people seen it at a straightforward way that we couldn't really take a route, because we have to consider everyone. Because we could integrate, but is it beneficial for everyone?
Right.
That's not everyone's belief system, you know? Like, everybody believes a different thing. It's like, I take AP psychology, right? So, I forgot the term is, but it's hard for people, it's just, in general, it's just hard for people to change their way of thinking. Like, you have to really pry from it. And even that, like, that may be agitating, they may be frustrated with you, or may react negatively, but just to really pry at somebody and help them change their way of thinking and seeing those different perspectives, as you're saying, I feel like that should be a mission for everybody, to change the way people think.
People are scared of things that are different. So it's like, when you want them to change their opinion, you're trying to get them to see a different side. They don't want to. It feels like unknown territory. It's a scary situation. Delving into something you've been taught your whole life is wrong. And we're not here to yell at those people, although we may. We're not here to yell at those people. We're here to educate them and for them to actually open their eyes, not close off to us because we're attacking them.
I think it's the fear of the unknown is what caused like this integration problem in the first place. Always existed, but what I think happened was people looked at it and it was like, nah, this is too complicated, we'll save it for the next guy. It's kind of like you go in the refrigerator, you hear something drop, and then you're like, whoever opens it will pick it up.
Yeah.
So who opened it, left it on the floor for the next person. And then it stayed on the floor, and the problem got worse. And now you get home, and now you're burdened with the responsibility to clean it up, and you kind of don't know how to.
That's good.
Also, another thing, I guess people kind of see it as, well, the law says that this shouldn't happen, so if it's still happening, it's not really my fault, and I don't really have to do anything about it. And that's pretty much like the mentality I guess some people have when it comes to them turning their backs on dealing with the situation.
So, thank you. Just give me like one more round of applause.